Good afternoon, everybody. How is all my wonderful subscribers and viewers out there doing today? I hope everybody's having a wonderful weekend. It's Nicky D, and welcome back to the Nicky D channel. Today, we're going to be doing the 2024 college football recap, week 2, where we go over all of the games in college football where we predicted in the college football prediction show. And other than that, I hope everybody is enjoying the wonderful content. Don't forget to like the video, share the video on social media, and smash that subscribe button so you can be notified of when I drop my next video. So, without further ado, let's get to. In our first matchup of the day, we had the Arkansas Razorbacks going on the road into Stillwater at number 17, the Oklahoma State Cowboys. And this game was a lot closer than a lot of people expected, closer than I expected. I thought Oklahoma State would walk out with a 2-touchdown win, but instead it was a double overtime thriller that still saw the Oklahoma State Cowboys defeat the Arkansas Razorbacks 39-31. In our next matchup, we had number 16 Kansas State going on the road into Tulane. And another one of these games, I thought Kansas State was going to go in and win by 4 or 5 touchdowns. But instead, Tulane was the one rolling in the first half, which caused Kansas State to have to come back in this football game, as the Kansas State Wildcats survived the scare in Tulane 34-27. And another matchup, we had the Florida A&M Rattlers going on the road at number 15 Miami. And this is exactly what we expected it was going to be. Miami went in, was up big at half, took over in the second half, and routed Florida A&M 56-9. And the Miami Hurricanes get to 2-0. And we also had Utah State going on the road into Southern California as they were taking on number 14 USC. And this is another one of those games that was exactly what we expected. USC was up big. It's a little bit of a slow start, but they got their wheels under them. And the USC Trojans put the drubbing down. It was our first of 3 shutouts on the week as USC 48-0 takes care of business at home against Utah State. And up next, we had the Houston Cougars going on the road into Norman as they were at number 13 Oklahoma. And this game was a lot closer than what a lot of people expected, especially myself. I thought Houston was overmatched in this particular matchup, and they were on the road. I really thought Oklahoma was going to come in, show in, show out, but they didn't. There was 13-12 in the fourth before Oklahoma finally got, 14-12 Oklahoma in the fourth before Oklahoma had to put the game away with a safety as the Sooners survive a scare from Houston 16-12. And up next, we had the Duke Mayo Classic as number 12 Tennessee went on the road into number 23 North Carolina State on a neutral site. And honestly, this is not what I expected at all. I did expect Tennessee to win. I expected it to be a 1-touchdown, maybe a 10-point victory affair. But instead, Tennessee came in and put the hammer down. They were up 20-3 at half, but were walking out with a 51-10 drubbing of North Carolina State. Up next, we had Baylor, the Bears, going on the road at number 11 Utah, and this was the exact opposite. This was a game where I expected it to be a close match. Actually, I expected it to be a blowout. Ended up being a close matchup. And honestly, Utah, even with the win, might be hurting in the top 25 because of the fact that it wasn't a blowout. Utah did manage to walk out of there with a 23-12 win over the Baylor Bears. And up next, we had Buffalo going on the road at number 10, Missouri. And this is exactly what we expected it to be, a blowout win. Missouri 38-0. This is our second shutout of the show and Missouri's second shutout of the season. Missouri's defense in 2 games has allowed 0 points. Granted, their opponents are Murray State and Buffalo, but still 0 points allowed by Missouri's defense so far this season. And up next, we have the Bowling Green Falcons going on the road into University Park as they were at number 8 Penn State. And wow, this game was a lot closer than I expected. And yeah, that's why the old saying goes, anything could happen on any given Saturday. Penn State almost got tripped up here by Bowling Green. After abysmal first half, they ended up coming out and taking the game in the second half. Penn State and Indy Lions 34-27. They roll over the Bowling Green Falcons. And when they say anything can happen in college football, they mean it. Up next, number unranked Northern Illinois going on the road at number 7 Notre Dame. And this is where me and probably 99% of the country took their first L. Northern Illinois upset alert 16-14 with a game-winning field goal with about 31 seconds to go. And Northern Illinois gets their first ever road win against a top 10 team. And it was the first time a MAC team had knocked off a top 10 team in history as well. Big history being made by Northern Illinois as they get the upset win over the Fighting Irish. And up next, we have the Boise State Broncos going on the road into Eugene as they were at number 6 Oregon. And honestly, this matchup was really close. It was very back and forth. 3-0 Boise, 7-3 Oregon, 10-7 Boise, and that's essentially how it went all the way up until the end. Oregon was definitely tested this week, but the Ducks managed to escape with a 37-34 victory over the Boise State Broncos. And up next, we had Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders going on the road at number 5 Mississippi. And Mississippi right now is showing the nation why they belong here. Another dominant performance. Maybe not the 76-0 beatdown they put on Furman a week ago, but still a very convincing win for the Ole Miss Rebels. They beat Middle Tennessee 52-3 to improve to 2-0. As we continue along on the college football recap, we had the South Florida Bulls going on the road at number 4 Alabama. This game was definitely a lot closer than what the scoreboard indicated at the end of the game. This was a very low scoring game in the first half. Alabama led 7-6 at the half, and Alabama came out, made it 14-6. South Florida made it 14-13 at the end of the third. And then Alabama, about midway through the fourth quarter, it was 21-16. And Alabama just put their foot on the gas and said, this is not going to be close today. Alabama made it 28-16. Alabama made it 35-16. And Alabama made the final score, the Crimson Tide 42. So South Florida Bulls 16 as the Roll Tide roll. Our next matchup, we had the game of the week. Number 3, Texas went on the road at number 9, Michigan in the Big House, and they showed up and they showed out. They put the defending national champions on notice big time. They ended up dominating all 4 quarters, and the Texas Longhorns walked out with a 31-12 win over the Michigan Wolverines. And our next matchup featured the Western Michigan Broncos going on the road into Columbus as they were at the number 2 Ohio State Buckeyes, and Ohio State showed up and showed out. Quan Junkins at the running game was definitely big for Ohio State in this one, and the Buckeyes got the final shutout on this week as they take care of business in Columbus. 56-0, they beat the Western Michigan Broncos. And now in our final game of the week, we had Tennessee Tech going on the road between the hedges to take on number 1 Georgia in Athens. And this was all Georgia all day. Them dogs came out and them dogs ate. And they ate the whole game. And Georgia showed up. Carson Beck, 5 touchdown passes. He showed the nation why the Georgia Bulldogs belong, being ranked as the number 1 team in the nation. 48-3. Georgia put the beat down on Tennessee State, and they easily get to 2-0. And that was the 2020 All College Football Recap, where we go over all the big games that we have for our prediction show each week. Now, don't forget to like the video, share the video on social media, and smash that subscribe button so you can be notified of when I drop my next video. And we will have New England Patriots recap coming at you soon. We'll also have the next episode of Nikki D News, where we talk everything about what happens on the channel so that y'all can stay up to date and notified of when I'm dropping all the new stuff. Other than that, I hope all of y'all amazing people continue to have a wonderful weekend. I'm Nikki D, and this is the Nikki D channel. We will see y'all next time. Bye, y'all.